2, 1.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to All Access Magic. My name is Ryan Edwards. This guy over here is
Blaze Sarah. Welcome to the show. We are so excited for our guest this week.
It doesn't go through.
It doesn't. No, it really doesn't.
Unless I was trying.
We're gonna do another. If you guys want to see the new clip that's on Xavier Spade's channel, where we were actually in person.
Oh, that's close.
Oh, so good.
So bad.
So bad. We have an incredible episode in store for you guys.
It's going to be a blast. We got to get this guy on quick because he's actually got a show in like 45 minutes. So let's cut right to him. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the
tonight,
man, the myth, the legend,
Alex, the man,
the myth,
the legend,
Ramon.
There he is.
What's up, fellas? You know, since you guys are so in sync on that, I know you just say that about every guest you have. So you know what? Save it, okay?
No, man. We've said before, you are the man, the myth, the legend.
You are the only man, myth, legend before and during your name.
Before. On All Access Magic. That's right?
Yeah.
This week.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
We are doing fantastic. How about yourself, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm in the middle of a snowstorm here in Lake Tahoe. I'm on stage at the Hard Rock Hotel Casino. And like you said, I have a show in 45 minutes. We're going to hold doors. And people are going to have to wait outside until we're done. Until we feel satisfied with this podcast.
That's it.
There's people out there waiting to see the show.
Everybody watching the podcast right now know that Alex is sacrificing his show opening for you. I hope you don't have anything to do with the audience beforehand or getting them pumped up or anything like that.
No pre-show, no pre-show.
Tonight, not
so
getting
he
pumped up.
100% no, there is no pre-show.
Yeah,
because he absolutely
does not use that.
Although, but Taylor's finding it out for the first time. Taylor, we're not doing pre-show this show.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That would be great if you just decided to keep the doors open and people are just flooding into the theater.
No, actually, what I began doing, which is totally unconventional, especially for magic shows, I actually set the show and I do all my presets with doors open to the theater. Doors open almost right into the casino. And I mean, obviously, for the stuff that's vital that can't be seen, I'm making sure that no one sees that. But like setting up lights, moving tables around. And then what we have is I have 4 screens in the theater, and it just says show at 8 p.m., tickets available across the hall at the box office. And people pop their head in all the time. And if I'm on stage and I see them, I go over there and go, hey, what's up, guys? You want to see the show tonight? And it really, I can't tell you how many tickets we've sold because the doors are open. It just they feel energy's going on. I put the haze on. I put the lights. They're just, doing like ballyhoos and they're just doing little things. And it's energy. And that's where you want people to come is where energy's happening, where excitement's happening. So it works. And not everybody's going to want to be able to do that or even have the ability, but our double doors look right into the casino. So everybody walking by sees something's going on in here.
What they see is smoke coming out, and they're like, "Is there a fire in there that I should?"
No, we tried to do that. We totally tried to do that. So me and Jonathan set up a smoke machine shooting into the casino, and we're like, "Hey, man, what if like we just shoot smoke out of here?" So people are walking by, and they're like, "What's going on in there?" And it just didn't work because, however, the air system is set up. Like we shot all the smoke and it like made it to the door and it just sucked back into the theater. And so like,
really?
then you just saw smoke in there and it's like, we need to avoid a fire inside.
That's amazing.
Let me get a sound check.
See, I'm not.
1 second.
That is amazing.
So we have people, yes. So, yeah, you could have.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Go. Check.
All right.
Check 1, 2. Okay.
All right.
While you're doing that, I'm going to
This
pull
is
up a
utter
video.
professionalism. This is what it takes, guys.
Sorry.
The fact that we really appreciate the fact that you squeeze this into your schedule. You are one of the busiest guys in Magic.
I wish that we could do. We'll have to do it again on another Monday nights. I don't have shows. We'll have to do it again Monday night.
Well, Monday, yeah. We only film on Wednesday nights, so no,
we can be flexible.
We'll do a special episode with you. Let me let me do this.
Yeah, or we could pre-record it on a Monday, but then stream it live on Wednesday, and then everybody in the chat will just be so pissed at us, thinking that we're ignoring them the whole time.
Yeah,
exactly.
Now,
and again, we do have people live in the chat, so
cool.
Anybody that wants to jump in, we have a bunch of people that were so excited to see you. But also, again, we do have live call-ins. So if anybody would like to call in and talk to Alex live on the show, all you need to do is just go over to 1v1magic.com and join the Discord. If you join the Discord over here, bada bing, scrolling at the bottom, see that 1v1magic.com. You can join the Discord and then go to the stage where we have this live chat right now.
Now, Alex, we had a very special guest call in earlier today. They couldn't make it tonight, so they just wanted me to show this.
I knew you were going to do this.
I'll stop there. But all she's saying is that Uncle Ryan is the coolest. So there you go, Alex. That's an inside joke between me and Alex for those guys. People are going, why do you have a child on the show? So me and Alex have a mutual friend, Alvin Liu, who amazing guy, and we went out for we actually went and did some escape rooms together when I was out in San Francisco.
We did a magic escape room. Which was pretty cool.
We had like three magicians doing a magic escape room in San Francisco, so it was pretty cool. But so our ongoing feud between me and Alex is who his daughter likes the best.
It's clearly me. I took
Uncle Ryan.
I took her to Sesame Street Live, and she got to meet.
Yeah, but she didn't go backstage.
Ryan, how are you going to top Sesame Street?
I told her I would get her backstage. That's it. I said, oh, that's cheap.
Oh, yeah, lies and deceit. You're just throwing false promises and hope into this child's face. What are you doing?
100%. But I'm from another country. I have an accent, a cooler accent than Alex does. So
accent?
To an American, a little one.
To an accent. Yeah, hey, buddy. Hey, Zed. Hey.
Yeah, that's it. How long have we known each other?
I want to know how long you guys have known each other.
Oh, I feel like I know we crossed paths at maybe some convention before, but I think it was really with Alvin is when we were like, oh, what's up? Like, hi, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I knew you before that. Like, I think we had chatted at conventions and stuff. But I'm going to say it's probably close to 10 years ago I met you.
Yeah, it must be now.
And then it's probably like 5 or 6 years ago where we became like where we met with Alvin and stuff.
Yeah. And then Blaze, we were just chatting, man. Like, when's the last time was Magic Live, you said?
Yeah, Magic Live. I think it was 2017. It was my first Magic Live. And then we went to dinner. It was like, I think at the table, actually, it was you, myself, Matt Franco, his wife Tiana, and Johnny Thompson was our table. And
I do remember that. That was at that cocktail party.
Yeah,
it was like the after party or something, right?
Yeah, because they did some kind of like road to Magic Live was like their theme. Yeah, and then that was like
that's right. I remember that.
Party.
Yeah, that was actually the first time I met Matt Franco, and it was funny because we were next to each other in line in like the buffet, and we turned and we're like, "Oh, hey, I know you, but we've never met." Like at the same time, we're like, "Hey, yeah, super nice guy."
Awesome.
Yeah, and I remember asking you. I mean, that was. At that time, I think I asked you for advice about pursuing a career in Magic, and I remember.
What did I say?
You actually were very generous with your time and gave a lot of feedback.
He said, "Don't do it. Don't do it. Turn around and run the other way."
He said, "Turn around."
No,
he said, "Just give up."
Yeah, stop doing what you're doing.
You know what's crazy is, man, when you perform Magic full time and you've done, I've been performing now for, I don't know, 20 something years. And so you have kids that are interested in Magic, saw my show, and now are young magicians. And they're like, you were the first magician I saw. And I remember thinking that once I became a magician, and I was at conventions and I saw these guys that I grew up watching that I was like, oh my gosh. And it's so interesting to be on the other side of it now, where people go, I saw you at this show and you did this. And I'm like, I did do that. I do remember this. Yeah. And it's very rewarding. In fact, I this summer, I received a DM on Insta from this kid who is working at Disney World, okay? And he's working at Disney World, and he said, I saw you on tour in Disney Live Mickey's Magic Show, which is like 15 years ago. And he says, and I always wanted to be, do something with magic and to work at Disney World. And I just got hired to work at Disney World. And it was like this summer or something. Right. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then what I said is I have a gift for you. And I thought about this literally years ago when I was on tour at Disney. I had the whole cast on the world premiere. We had a world premiere poster. I had the whole cast, the original cast, sign the poster. And I held on to it. And I thought, this would be a really cool gift for some kid. And maybe in years from now, some kid will say they'll be a magician or something. And I'll give them that gift. So I gave him the gift. And I told him, I said, I have something for you. I've kind of been waiting for this message. And he's like, wait, what? And I gave him the poster. So it's pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah. Now, you've been referring to
how much of an impact the moments that can be so small for you can have on somebody's life.
Oh, totally. I saw a friend of mine named Bryce who saw me on Ringling, and we hung out after the show, and we were chatting, and he told his mom, he's like, Mom, it was after the show, and I said, hey, I have some time. I'll hang and talk with you. And then he told his mom to go home to get his Magic magazine and bring it back so I could sign it.
That's
and I was like, you didn't have to do that. I was like, I would have sent you one, but it was just really funny. Yeah, but those are sweet moments. And as I continue to perform, I really enjoy those moments. And whenever I said, there's a kid that was at my show this weekend and he liked magic, and I'm like, do you have a trick for me? I always ask. I was like, do you have a trick for me? Because I remember being interested in magic as a teenager, going to a magic show, and all I wanted was for the magician to go, show me a trick. And I was ready, right? I was stacked. I had everything. I'm just like, dude, what if I do a trick and he likes it and he puts me in the show? What if I have to move to Vegas? You know what I mean? All these things go through your mind as a kid. And so, I always say, do you have a trick for me? And usually they do. Sometimes they go, no, but usually they do.
That's awesome. Now, you said right there, because before you were doing your show and touring everything, you were working with, one of the coolest things. You're working with Ringling Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell everybody what you were doing on that show?
Man, that was the coolest gig. So I was the basically youngest ringmaster in history. Jonathan Lee Iverson was 22. He was just about to turn 23, and I was 23. So second youngest, but really, really young. And
sorry, I gotta interrupt you. You were not the youngest. We got to get the other guy.
Are you kicking me off now?
Oh my God! What are you even doing on the show? Get out!
So I was 23. Opened the show, and the unique thing about that circus was, you've seen magic acts in circuses before, whether it's a Shriner circus, whether it's whatever, but it's always a magic act, and do 12 minutes, just like every other act. And what made the show that I was in, which was called Zing Zang Zoom, what made Zing Zang Zoom unique was that it was a magical circus, and the illusions served as the transitions between the acts. So it was really innovative, and I got to be, the magician. And when we first created the show, we didn't know if I was just going to be the transition to the acts and the ringmaster. They didn't know if there was going to be a ringmaster and me. And then the creative team decided, well, we think Alex can just do both jobs. And so I did. And I toured with that show for 2 years, performed in Madison Square Garden, 15,000 people at a time, made an elephant disappear in the round, levitated people from the audience in the round. It was such a large production that it really gave me just the best education and experience for performing that anyone could ever hope for. The producer, Kenneth Feld, who produced Siegfried and Roy at the Mirage, he produced that show. He told me, he's like, after you do this, you'll be able to do anything. And it's true. And what he meant by that is, you'll never be nervous or intimidated for anything.
Yeah.
Because it's so big that you've now done it. So I really haven't. So opening shows, television, whether it's national television or even just local, live streaming, none of it, I was never nervous. It was this is just normal. And so it was such a great experience. I loved every second.
Talking about national TV, Blaze, is it possible? Can we pull up his clip?
Absolutely.
Because,
but
I mean,
I feel like we should learn a little bit more about him first, just
Oh,
because we have so
that's
little
true.
time.
We do have little time, so let's do that. You're right.
So we have an important segment for you, Alex. So
Okay.
get ready. Are you caffeinated? Are you ready? Three,
I don't drink
2,
caffeine.
1.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. It's time for 20 questions. It's time for 20 questions. Yeah, it's time for 20 questions. It's time for 20 questions. Yeah, put 2 minutes on the clock. 2 minutes on the clock. Put 2 minutes on the clock. 2 minutes on the clock. Here we go.
I'm nervous.
All right.
Ready? Here we
You
go.
should be.
I'm ready.
All right.
So we got
So-
2 minutes. We're going to rapid fire you questions, one back and forth.
Okay,
We need
rapid
good, honest answers as quickly as you can. We're going to see
Okay.
if you can get through all of them.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Are
Ready.
you ready? Good, sir.
Here we go. Number 1, dream vacation.
Dream
Destination.
vacation. Ooh, going to Alaska again.
Biggest pet peeve.
People saying, "Can I have the house lights?"
Biggest mistake during a performance.
I forgot to set, the opening illusion for the show, and I had to leave stage.
What always makes you laugh?
Other people.
What's your secret talent?
My secret talent. I don't have a secret talent. I guess magic.
What was the first time you ever saw a magic trick?
I was 7 years old. I saw Terry Godfrey perform Miser's Dream.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh man, that's a good one. Dude. I think I might have to go with flying.
Dream performance venue.
Dream performance. My own venue. My own dinner theater venue.
Most cherished memory.
Times with my nana.
Favorite food.
Mexican.
Favorite movie.
Ooh, Batman Dark Knight.
What's
Good
the
one.
worst job you ever had?
I've only done magic. I've never had another job other than that. But I've done some really not great shows.
Favorite magician.
Favorite Slidini.
If you won the lottery, what's the first thing you'd buy?
I wouldn't. I would give it all away.
What's the most highly recommended magic book or product?
Conjuring Anthology by Jim Steinmeier.
If you could remake any movie and star in it, what would it be?
Mission Impossibles.
Would you rather feel like a potato or look like a potato?
Feel like a potato.
Good, because you look like
Wow,
one.
we got through.
How many did I get through? How many did I get through? I feel like I got like at least 10 or 12.
You got,
You got through
17.
17.
That's pretty
17
good.
is a really good score.
That's
17
pretty
is a
good.
score. We might as well do the last 3.
Yeah, last 3. Come on. Now I want to know what they are.
If you had one wish, what would you wish for?
One wish. What would I wish for? See, now that I'm out of time crunch, I'm starting to think.
That's
Rapid
it.
fire. One wish. What would I wish for? I would wish for my grandfather being able to see me perform. I think that'd be pretty cool.
What was your favorite toy growing up?
Ninja Turtles.
And last but not least, the stumper, the magician stumper. But I think you got this. What's your favorite sports team?
Favorite sports team? Got to go with the home team. Got to go with the Warriors.
Nice, nice. Now I was gonna say I always see you wearing Jordans or some type of crazy shit. So I was like,
Basketball.
if he doesn't know a basketball team, I'm gonna be
Yeah, no.
even more disappointed.
You know what? To be perfectly honest, I'm more of a player fan than a team fan. So, I was a Kobe fan diehard. So when Kobe was playing, I was
Right.
Lakers, but it was because of Kobe. If Kobe
Yeah.
went somewhere else, I would follow Kobe. And then, Steph Curry, that's now I think my favorite player. And he just happens to be on my home team, so that kind of works out nicely. But if he probably went somewhere else, you know, I mean, you always have ties to the home team, but I would go with him. So
okay, so you're a bandwagon hopper. No.
Exactly. Whatever team's winning. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, honestly, the fact that you had an answer on our podcast is amazing because every guest cannot answer that question. Everybody's
really?
like, I don't watch sports. Yeah, it's just
you know what?
Magician thing.
No, you know, I actually really like sports, and I think especially guys like Kobe Bryant, it's the mentality of life that what attracts me to it, right? It's like the pursuit of excellence. Hey, Jonathan, can we get those lights off? Can we change those lights? Give us like doors or something.
Let's get a melodramatic wash, Jonathan.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are seeing this live on stage right now. We should just tell him to put his laptop at the back and we can watch the whole show.
Yeah.
MJ boy, come on, MJ. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Sorry guys, there was a lighting and people are walking by, and we don't want them to see that particular
Is your lighting guy also a dog?
No.
Hey,
Hey, come here. Get over here.
MJ's in the VIP couches right now.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's what attracts me to it, is that, like, you know, that Kobe Bryant, that mentality of just the pursuit of excellence. You know, I'm a strong believer in, you know, just what you believe, you know, where your mindset is you'll be able to accomplish your goals no matter what obstacles or barriers you put in your life, and that you have to actually overcome it mentally here first before anything else. And so that's how I think it. So I'm attracted to that. So that's what I think basketball wise with Kobe Bryant. It just was like, he was clearly better than everyone, and it wasn't just because physically he was better; it's because mentally he was. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like mental IQ. It's like stage IQ. I relate it to performance. I relate it to magic. Is that, you know, I think there are a number of things that turn you into a great performer, and one is natural talent, natural ability. Right? Some people just have a better natural ability for fine motor skills and dexterity than other performers. That's just natural. No different than some people naturally can shoot basketball better. Some people are just naturally faster than others without any training. It's just natural ability, right? Because your natural ability is going to give you opportunities, and you have to capitalize on those opportunities. And if those opportunities go well, what you're going to get out of it is experience, right? And that's what you want. You want experience. And the more experience you get, the better performer you're going to become, because you're learning. But the other thing is that you need to have, with your experience comes stage IQ, and that's the mental. You have to understand, like you have to understand the stage. You have to understand what the audience is wanting, what the audience wants from you. You know, I have a pretty good self-conception. I know what the audience wants from me, and I try to deliver that in a performance. And that's because I'm very self-aware, right? Like a lot of performers, if they're not self-aware, they're going to be, you know, maybe doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Some magicians can get away with stuff that I could never get away with. Why? Like David Williamson can get away with stuff that I could never get away with, right?
Yeah.
But you have to be self-aware. And so that's stage IQ. But not only that, is especially when you're doing illusions. And when I did big production shows, what I learned was, as I'm performing, the curtains close, I'm on the apron, and I'm doing in one piece as they're setting up the illusion. I'm listening for them laying the cable down. I'm listening for my assistant to walk across stage, so I know that she's in her cue. So I'm not going to, are we not set for that or whatever, right? I'm listening as I'm performing. You have to be aware of all those things. Am I actually in my light? Oh my gosh, so many times, so many performers, and it's like there's a light crossing right across their head, and you're like, do you not realize that you're not even in your light? Like, you know, that's stage IQ, that's being aware, but that comes with experience. And of course, the fifth one that is going to determine all is how hard you work, right? You do all those things, but it's like that saying that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. So natural ability and talent. So all those things, I mean, I'm not saying anything that's so clever or original, but that's just how I see it when I translate it to performance. Is, you know, natural ability is going to give you opportunities. Your opportunities should give you experience. Your experience should heighten your stage IQ. And then how much effort are you going to put into it? So that kind of in a nutshell is what attracts me to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it was interesting what you were talking about with self-awareness. What were you going to say, Ryan? I felt
Do you know what
had
that
something on the
was?
tip of your tongue.
Do you know what that was?
What?
That was absolutely 100% a gold nugget mic drop moment right there. Solid 5 pillars of magic.
That was
That was
pretty
his own
solid.
5 points.
For anybody
Take that,
watching,
Tamarisk.
take that to the bank all day, because all of that information was fantastic, and people should know. I mean, if we went back to Kobe Bryant, I remember people saying they got up really early in the morning to go to the gym, and they're like, I'm gonna be the first guy at the gym to practice this morning. And they would get there, and Kobe was already there shooting, and he had just played the night before. And it's like the guy plays 48 minutes and then is still the first guy in the gym every morning. So
and like, let's get that pre-show, Oh, good. Okay, faders down, Great, thank you. So like the thing is that I agree, and like I actually on some of my stories, you might want to close those doors so when we tell them we open doors, okay? Right now, thank you. So the thing is that sometimes on my stories, what I do is I post like what I'm up to. And I've had many magicians message me and say, I like seeing this element of it, because we all we fall into the social media hype, right? Like, oh, sold out show. And it's like, that's not reality. Let me tell you something. Siegfried and Roy didn't sell out every single show. Copperfield doesn't sell out every single show. Penn and Teller don't sell out every single show. Angel doesn't. Like that's not a thing. Like when you have a running show, you will have light nights and you'll have sold out nights, right? And so what I do, and if anybody, I mean, is watching or follows my stories, they've seen me because I stored. I'm going to do it this weekend, man. Okay, because we're going to be busy. I get up at 5 a.m. and I flyer the doors in the property. I do 2 towers, and I'm putting a flyer under every single hotel room door. Boom, boom, boom. And I do it. Why? Because I've worked with casinos for years, and even though they say they're going to do it, I don't believe they do. And so I would rather do it because then I know, right? And so I'm like, all right, 5 a.m., I'm doing this. Okay, right after this, I have early morning radio at 7:45. So I'm up. It takes me how long to do it. Then we have a show tonight. I'm doing here. And like, for example, my weekend, we have a show every night here in Tahoe, but I took this last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off from Tahoe because I do a theater in the Bay Area that is, I do every single year. This year was my 11th annual show in December. And so I do it every year, so I don't do shows here and we go down. Well, we're like in a snowstorm. So basically here was my last week. It's Thursday night, do the show in Hard Rock, load the truck that night, but it's so cold, the truck is like frozen shut. We have to get hot water to like be able to open up the door on the back. Yeah. And so then we load and then we don't want to drive that night, so we drive in the morning. So I get up at 5, go to bed probably around 3 a.m., wake up at 5:30 a.m., I drive the truck down the mountain in ice. It takes forever. Get there. Load in begins at noon. We're there. We load in the show, do a show that night, 2 shows Saturday, 2 shows Sunday with a loadout. The next day, take the truck back up the mountain in a snowstorm. And so I'm chains pulling over and then load in the show Monday, Tuesday night, have a show, and here we are Wednesday night, right? Like, it's like, Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this too, and I have the same vibe as Gary Vaynerchuk. It's like, and Kobe too. It's like, I love that. Like, I love it. Like the fact that this morning I had 3 virtual shows. My first virtual show today was at 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 12:30. I have your podcast, and we're holding for doors. And so when Jonathan came in, he sees my setup on stage. He's like, "What's going on? Are you taking us down?" I go, "No, the podcast at 7." He goes, "We have a show at 8." I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm not surprised at that. Like, yeah, that's pretty normal." And it's like, it's because for me, that's the fun, that's the performance, I would be doing shows anyways. You know? So I don't think any other way. That's what I do. That's how I.
Yeah. And I think because you grew up in in the performance and theater space, it's like you understand that if you don't do it, it's not going to get done. And it's like and people are like, oh, that's what the crew's for. It's like, yes, the crew has their jobs, but you're not, the fact that you're not just sitting there and being a diva as the performer it's so huge, you know?
So when
and that also impacts the work environment when people see
100%.
that you are also there putting in the work as much as everybody else.
100%. And Kenneth, I learned a lot from Kenneth Feld when I was in rehearsals for Ringling, and I was young, and I think it gave me a great understanding of what, at least how to structure my career and how I want to be as a performer. I remember we had a really bad rehearsal in Ringling. All of the illusions went wrong. Not like one or two, or like one went well. None of them went well. They all messed up in this rehearsal. It was awful. And I just was like, oh my gosh, I felt just awful. And then I would go up to him at the end of rehearsals for notes directly from him. I wouldn't go to the director first. I'd go to him first, because this guy watched Siegfried and Roy and put them in the Frontier and then put them in the Mirage. Like, this guy, he knows what he's doing. And so all he said to me was, Siegfried would have been pissed. I was thinking, well, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be like everybody's mad or scared or I'm going to yell at them or whatever. And then before he left, and he told me before he went out on tour, he said, look, you got to keep up on these guys, because if you don't care, no one else will.
Yeah.
And it was such a lesson, because like just right now, before we had a podcast, I was telling Jonathan I was picking up drinks because they missed the cleanup. They didn't get all the drinks. So I'm sitting there picking up beer bottles, tossing them. I set the room with the chairs, and I remember we used to have confetti launcher in my other show, and there'd be a piece of confetti on the floor, and the crew would see me, and I'd pick up confetti, and they look around, and I'm like, all right, and they see me doing it, and they go, oh, and then they start doing it. And then pretty soon, before we open doors, they'd see me walking around. And why? It's a team. We're all doing things. We have all different jobs, but the goal's the same. Same thing on Ring. One time the floor needed to be swept. So I grabbed a broom in my ringmaster jacket. I grabbed a broom and I started sweeping. Boy, they ran, sprinted over there, because if anybody saw me doing that, it was in rehearsals, but if anybody saw me doing that, like, they would have gotten, like, that, their job, they would have gotten in trouble saying, why is he doing it? Like, for me, I didn't care. I'm like, it needed to be done, you know? But I think that's what adds that camaraderie and blaze to, like, what you're saying, is that environment when you realize that the person who's on the front of the show, whether it's my show, that they know that I'm willing to go out, flyer, I'm willing to clean up, mop, do all the things that, you know, they're willing to do it too. And I mean, some people might not agree. Some guys might go, no, I don't want to, you know. I was asked, I mean, I don't mean to go on tangents, but I can easily go on tangents. But, like, you know, I did last year a lot of virtual shows, like a lot of people. And I did over 300 virtual shows last year. And I was just like pumping them out. I did shows every day but Mondays. 2 Tuesday, 2 Wednesday, 2 Thursday, 2 Friday, 4 Saturday, 3 Sunday was my normal week in the summer. And virtual, like bam, bam, and just knocking them out. And this guy saw my virtual show. And then I was getting ready to do this big live stream of my show at the end of the year. And I had over 1,000 devices registered. And that's the largest amount you can have on Zoom before you have to turn it into a webinar. And so I had 1,000 devices already registered. And I was talking to this guy. I said, hey, would you like to host? And what I was doing is I was compiling people to intro me, like all these people, because they're going to invite their friends to watch and their family. And so then their family's like, oh, there's Ryan. Oh, and he's like saying, hey, welcome to the show. You know, and so it's kind of a fun thing. Anyways, the point was, this guy's asking me, he goes, you know, I really like the show, Alex. I just have a question. And he goes, well, you know, me and my wife saw your show. We couldn't really pinpoint, like, you know, this magician has a vibe, Copperfield has his vibe, Blaine has his vibe. And we just really couldn't we couldn't really place. I go, oh, you're asking for my brand.
Hmm.
And he's like, oh yeah. What's your brand? I go, oh, that's easy. You want to know what my brand is? And he's like, yeah. I go, I'm talking to you on your cell phone. That's my brand, because I had emailed him saying, hey, can I call you real quick? And he's like, yeah. And I call him up and I say, look, I want you to invite these people to the show because I want something from you. I want you to invite people to the show. These are in turn are going to be people who are buying tickets. These people are going to know me. These are the people. Okay, sure, yeah. So now he's my word of mouth because I'm incorporating him, right? And so in the same way here, I'm out there flyering saying, hey, do you want to come to the show? They're like, that's you? I go, yeah. It's like, don't act like you don't know me when I'm up here. Why?
Yeah.
Because those people, those moments that we may take for granted, okay, that we just see as a performer, or sometimes our ego wants us to be like, we're this. No, it doesn't work like that anymore. That lure doesn't work. When people can get a tweet or a retweet from like Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
like we're magicians. We don't have that clout. They want access. They want to know, right? And so that's how I see it here. Selling tickets, like, hey, I want people.
Yeah, back when it was Beatlemania and Michael Jackson era, the distance, the barrier added to the mystique. But now, if you have a barrier to entry for people not being able to talk to you, you just come off as a dick in the 21st century. Considering that, like, people, people are accessible.
I think people are accessible, right? Dude, you could do Cameo, right? You could get a birthday wish from Jack Black, okay? Yep. For $200. So who are you to like not, you know what I'm saying? Accessibility. You have to have that. That's what social media is. That's what this is. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, but I kind of see it that way. And I mean, I'm not a super famous star, you know, where it's like, obviously, when we well, actually, here's a funny story. When I worked with Logan Paul, we were filming up here in Tahoe. We did this water escape for him. There's my last story. Then I do have to go. So,
we have to ask you the most important question of the night. We have to ask you the most important question of the night. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Lasagna! What's your favorite genre of lasagna?
Meat.
Lasagna.
Veggie.
Lasagna.
Plain.
Lasagna. Saucy. Lasagna. What's your favorite genre of lasagna?
The most important question of the night.
I like it. That's the most important question. What is your favorite genre of lasagna?
Meat lasagna.
Meat lasagna. Interesting. But then we have a follow-up.
Like beef? Like,
yeah. Are you beef or like sausage?
No, ground beef and lasagna is good. Yeah, I like that.
The classic.
Okay. Then the follow-up question to it, because we know you got to leave, is if you were to bake one meat lasagna and then bake an identical meat lasagna and place a second meat lasagna atop of the first lasagna, do you now have one lasagna or two?
My friends, you have a double lasagna.
You have
it's one lasagna. It's one lasagna, but it's a double.
You heard it here first, folks.
That is
you did not first. I mean, that is the most common answer, but we now know.
He called it a double, though. I don't know if we've had a double
lasagna. A one double lasagna, or he's giving you
one double lasagna for
one
sure.
for the price of two. And we would love to have you back on sometime because I would really love to dive in on your creative process, especially because I think what you did with virtual shows last year was so innovative. The fact that you're constantly switching it up, and now you've scaled that back a little bit. You're doing it less frequently, but still doing a new show like every week, right?
Yeah. So in a nutshell, I had a tour that I called 35 and 35. I challenged myself to do 35 shows in 35 days in 35 different cities. That was going to go in the spring, of course. Everybody had to shelter in place, so I had to cancel it, but I decided to do it on Zoom. So I did 35 live stream shows. But the thing was, I had return audience. So instead of doing the same show 35 times, I had to do 35 different shows. And I mean, I talked to Joshua Jay about this because there was out of that, there came like 3 or 4 magicians, creators that I was like, without these guys, I wouldn't have been able to do it, right? And Josh James was one of them, because these weren't like 15-minute shows. These were 45-minute to an hour sometimes live streams of magic shows. I didn't repeat a trick, not once. The first one started with me doing like, I did like Skinner Monty on one of them. And then at the end, I was doing my underwater escape. I had a 5-camera shoot. And like I did like my illusions, I set them up in my backyard. Like, I mean, we went nuts with it. And, we got some national recognition for it, and it was fun. And so then continuing on with that, I started doing every Saturday night a different live stream and a different show. Every Saturday night I would live stream, but a different magic show. And I had people coming in all the time. And I haven't done it the last 3 weeks because I have shows here at Hard Rock now, and it's just kind of tough. So I am trying to adjust and try and do pick a new night to do a live stream. But yeah, I mean, come bring it back on. We'll chat about it. But that was that in a nutshell. Guys, it was a pleasure. Let me know when you want to do it again. But I got to run because we have show in 12 minutes. We're going to hold.
Get your butt on stage and break a leg.
I'm already on stage.
Get off stage so no one sees you on stage.
That's right. Exactly.
Break a leg. Absolutely crush it like you always do. And hopefully we'll have you back on soon enough. And if not, I'll get my butt out there one day and see your show.
Dude, guys, come out. Good skiing.
I would love to see the show. If you're ever in Lake Tahoe, please go to the Hard Rock. Check out Alex Ramon. And if you're not in Lake Tahoe, make the trip out to see him.
Make the trip out. It's a great place. So
Taylor, can you? There's people coming in. Can you make sure? Can you ask them to leave, and we'll be opening doors in a bit.
Look at that, folks. He is starting the show late tonight just to come on the podcast.
There's a line out there, guys. Okay, I am going to have to run. Hey, God bless you guys. Hope to see you again, okay?
Peace out. Have a good one, man.
Bye-bye,
Thanks.
Have a good one.
Well, that was crazy.
That was
He's
awesome.
literally like running off to do the show. We're going to start late. His show starts in like 10 and a half minutes.
Like when he said that he had a show tonight, I thought he was going to be finishing his show and then coming on the episode. But there is the time zone difference. No, he just decided I'm going to squeeze it in while on stage, which that was awesome.
I'm just going to put some lights up on stage here and do his thing, which is nuts. So that's a first. That's a first. I mean, we've had people have to leave because of time zone switches, but not on stage.
Not on stage. So
now,
this is a perfect time for us to jump into it.
I like Saugerman says, are we ending early? We're not ending yet because we still have a couple of segments to go through. But I can see Blaze has it queued up. So for those people who don't know who Alex is, he had a super awesome Fool Us routine. So can we bring that up?
Should we watch the whole thing? This video is definitely going to get copyright striked if we do. So
that's true.
I'm gonna just show a little bit.
Yeah.
Just know that you can see from the title, Dog Fools Penn and Teller. I don't want to spoil any of the reveal or anything, but you can see that the conversation with Penn and Teller appears.
I was going to say, can we show like the ending part of the routine?
Yeah, let me bring that back.
Yeah, so like.
I'm going to try skipping around because if we play more than 30 seconds, the CW will strike us.
Yeah.
That's 2.
Skip ahead. He's gonna balance his dog. Oh, that was great. That was a good moment. It was cute.
Yeah.
Is magic.
So great. It's really, really awesome. But yeah, I see Saugerman is saying, I remember this. Yeah, it was such a great routine. You could probably skip ahead, but then bam, everything falls apart at the end. So much better.
So good.
But all right.
That was so good that everything falls apart.
It's the best. That's the best levitation that I've seen. You might have to skip ahead so we don't get axed there, but
yeah, we can skip through talking with Allison and let's see.
Yeah, no one wants to hear that. No, I'm joking.
Hey, Alex, boy, what a great thing. The first thing Teller said, I mean, just the second you ended, was that's the best suspension we've ever seen.
Thank you.
Absolutely the best suspension. Suspensions have real problems with them.
Yeah.
And one of the problems is the ending. And they never have endings. You have to take it apart slowly the way you put it back together and pretty much just instruct the audience on how the trick was done. And this whole thing falling apart is a fabulous ending. And also it has, it has the dog, which is cute. I'm not a big fan of dogs. We have one in my home because my children insist on it, but our relationship is at best cordial.
Don't listen, MJ.
But this act is just great. You have the broom out there, which makes us think broom suspension, which gets us all set for a broom suspension. We know that's going to go, and that's not the way it went. And we have, there's only certain ways you can do things, and we have a very good idea on how you did everything except the wobble. Wobble kind of drove us crazy, the flexibility, because suspensions are always really rigid.
Right.
That's the way it works, and you had this.
Yeah, I mean, I probably should skip through, but just know that the wobble is what
is what fooled them. I mean, it was such a fantastic routine. If you haven't watched it, make sure to go and watch Dog Fool's Penn and Teller, because Alex came up with it. If you follow him on Instagram, he's got like the original sketches and stuff that they put together to build the illusion and stuff, and it is super, super cool.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Tigger T says, as someone who doesn't know how the trick works, the ending is lost on me.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal.
Yeah, definitely take a watch through. It's a mind-boggling routine and just super, super, super cool.
And check out his first Fool Us appearance as well. Although that Fool Us appearance didn't fool them, it still was a really, really smart, innovative way of doing a trick that is a classic, but taking it and making it so much better and modern. And his presentation's just, I mean, off the charts. He's such a great entertainer.
Yeah. Now, should we just get into the next segment? I don't know. What do you think?
I think so. I think it's time that we get into that segment. That felt like a good point to end it.
Yeah, that was a good point. It's like mission.
How long it was, so I was just like,
I'll just keep going. It goes all the way through the wall in the back, and then like into the kitchen. It's like
it is just constantly growing.
Backyard. It's like the next house. You're like see people eating and stuff. Yeah, it gets really awkward at that point.
Really awkward.
But let's talk about we have something new that we're adding to the shop this week that we both absolutely love and use so much. I actually taught part of a master class on this product. So it's something that I use almost every single show. I'm pumped. Do you want to tell them what it is?
Yes, absolutely. We are talking this week about Inject. Now, after the episode, Inject will be up on allaccessmagic.com, so you guys can check it out. This is, I'd say, the best magic app out there. It is the reigning king of magic apps. It has been since like 2013. It's an oldie but a goodie, and it's so versatile. I think the thing that's great about Inject is that it's a system, not just an effect. There are so many apps that are an effect, but this is like countless effects, and
it's constantly getting added to. Which is
another thing that I'll say with Inject off the bat is that back when Clubhouse was just starting out, Inject was one of my go-to things as one of the few things that I could perform over Clubhouse, over audio only with random people, that was really, really strong. Because like, yes, you could do like progressive anagrams where you ask somebody a question and then like depending on how they answer, it leads to the next question, and then you're able to figure out what they're thinking of. But with Inject, that was something where I would do like the Houdini eyes,
Houdini,
similar version like that, and that effect, I didn't need to see the person. The people couldn't see me because the app only allows audio, and that allowed me to perform for these people just with my voice and have it take place on their phone and be incredibly strong. And that's not even the strongest stuff that you perform with Inject, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I've used the Houdini app. I think when you purchase the app, it's automatically loaded in with like 10 or 15 different routines you can do. And then you can actually go on the app and customize your own routines and make your own routines out of it, which is, I don't think there's another app on the market that says, go ahead and make your own ideas up and just put them onto our app. It's absolutely crazy because like, yeah, that just doesn't happen. And it's, the system is really, really great and works all the time. I've never had it fail, which is great. I've been using this app since it got released. I actually used to help. So the app is released by Greg Rostami, and I became really close friends with Greg, and I used to help him at some conventions like Magical Live and stuff. And or when I had my RE handcrafted booth at Magi Fest, I always sold Inject at my booth because it's an app that sells itself. Once you perform this for someone, they're going to do it all the time. Yeah. Like they're going to be mind blown. And so I remember, I was doing a stage show, and I know we talked about pre-show earlier. So I do a touch of pre-show. If depending on the time of the show, if it's a 45-minute show, then I do, just to save us time on stage. Otherwise, I would do it on stage. But I had this prop, and I was using it, and it broke. And I went back to the back of the stage, and I looked, and nothing worked. And I said, oh, boy, I don't know how I'm going to do this tonight. And I remembered I had Inject. And I went out into the audience. Like there's only a few people in the room so far. Used Inject, came to the back, had all the information I needed. And it was so great because I was using their cell phone, which is the best part of this, is that you're not using your cell phone for it. You're using someone else's. And so I use it for every single show I do now. Live shows, I'm always using it. I just didn't even send the other prop back to get fixed. I was like, I don't need it anymore. And so Greg saw me use it. I've used it for so long. I was actually number 2 person to have this. And then now I'm like number 728. And now I know you're up in the thousands somewhere. So there's like,
yeah, I'm like 13,000 something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, 17,000.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like people, when I say I'm 728, are always like, whoa, you're so low. But like I used to use number 2 all the time. And then I had to switch. And by the time I switched out, there was already 726 more people that had it. So saying that, Greg asked me to teach a master class on this. And so he offers a master class. So if you buy the app from us, you can also get the master class from Greg. And it's like, it's like a full day-long video course of like how to use it and the ins and outs. And like, there's some crazy stuff. So highly, highly recommend it.
Just absolutely incredible. And the thing is that it also, unlike any other app that I can think of, has integration with many other Magic apps, whether it's Cyber or which is a recent release from last year on Theory 11. There's also other Greg Rostami apps, like Realist and things. There are so many integrations that Inject has. It's just a killer principle. There's so much you can do with it, and you can customize. It's really anything that you can imagine on the spectator's phone. So it's just solid.
That's the best part. Like I said, I've used a bunch of the different tricks that are already added into it, but just its basic form, what it was meant to do in the very first place, is one of the strongest magic tricks you'll ever do. Like,
Are you talking about just a pure mentalism reveal of knowing what someone's thinking of?
Yep, nothing else. You take their phone, you use their phone, or get them to go to something, and that single effect has booked me so many shows and got me crazy reactions over the years. So yeah, I would pay the full price just for that one. And then they add like 10 or 15 more effects built into it. So, and the ability to make your own. Yeah. So I don't know. Absolutely crazy.
And they've recently actually added a new domain to it, and as of like a day ago, literally, and it's now better than it was before. So that's awesome. You know, it's what's great about it is there's, you know, Greg is a developer and he's consistently adding new features, coding new things, and there's also a very extensive Facebook group for Inject users, which is kind of like, it's kind of like part of what you're paying for at this point, to be a part of that Facebook group, because it only allowed, you have to verify that you actually own a real copy of Inject. And being a part of that Facebook group, there are so many extra customized things that users have created that they've shared to the community, and additional feedback and updates that you can constantly find out from Greg. So it's, you know, that's another aspect, is that it's not like you're buying a product that only, in most magic products, all they can do is degrade. This is consistently improving, which is, you know, really
and that's the crazy thing about it. Greg has done such an awesome job with this, because a lot of apps people bring out, and I could name a handful of them for sure, like that they bring it out, and then a new cell phone comes out, and they go, it's a lot of work to update the all the code to make this work. You know what? We made a lot of money when we first brought it out, so let's forget it. Let's not do it anymore. This has been out for years, and every time there's an update, Greg is ahead of the pace, making sure there's changes are done properly and done right and on time. But then also, he's constantly working on trying to make the trick even better, or the system even better, which is crazy because it's already so good. But every time I run into Greg, he goes, check this out, and shows me something new. That's, you know, stupefying. I'm bringing that word back this week. Stupefying.
Stupefying. Yeah.
Stupefying.
It's like a stupefy. It's like the Harry Potter spell.
Someone says, do you have to be an advanced to use it? No, that's the great thing. Is it's a very easy system. It'll probably take you like half an hour maybe to learn.
I mean, yeah, it's
depending on if you've used other products. There's similarities in some aspects, I guess. But so good. It's not difficult. You'll be able to use it very easy. But the reactions you get will make it seem like you're just a beast. Oh, I said the reactions you get from using it will make you seem like an absolute beast, though. Within 20 minutes. I mean, the basic thing you could get and do in 2 minutes. So it is that good. So
it's really, really solid. Yeah, it's just it's great.
Boys, are we going to do 10% off for everybody watching right now on the website?
Sure. I mean, the site, it will be up on the site right after this episode airing. So once this episode is over, then you guys will be able to go to allaccessmagic.com/shop and then check out Inject. And then anybody who is a patron at the $25 tier, you've already been sent a link to where you can get the promo code, or you've already been sent the promo code in your DMs. And anybody else who subscribes to the $25 tier, you'll receive the promo code so you can get 20% off on the product.
Yeah, now, which is pretty sick. That's already saving you a bunch of money on tonight. So, but make sure you get
and additional value. I'd like to announce. Well, let's wrap up Inject before I have the next big announcement. So
so what would you rate Inject? Scale of 1 to 10.
I would say because of some of those security things that I mentioned to you the other day,
Yeah.
I would say a 9.
Nice.
And
Now,
if it weren't for those things, and it's not an issue, when I say security, it's not like there's some lack in security on Inject. It is a very locked down, secure app. You don't have to worry about anything. It's more just that I don't even know how can I describe it without giving too much away.
yeah, it's tough. No, I think you've done good. Inject, it's no issues with Inject. The app is not an issue. It's web platforms that become an issue, maybe. But in saying that,
there are some people that might not want Inject to be possible. And Greg has done a great job of continually staying ahead of the curve. So he'll never be stopped by any of those. But it's just, I don't know. Yeah,
I think that's a good way of putting it. I mean, we're going to have Greg Rasami come on the show eventually. And Greg will talk to us and show us probably a million things that you can do with Inject. But you'll want to get it before then because you'll already want to be playing with it. So if you have questions, you can ask Greg and, he'll blow your mind with everything that it does. I use this every single show I do, every live show I do, I use Inject. So I'm going to say it's got to be, do I give it the first 10 of I mean, we're only in episode 4. I'm going to say 9. I'm going to say 9.5 or 9.5. And I'm only going to say that because when you get the app and look at it at first, if you don't watch all the videos and stuff, you may be like, whoa, this is a lot. So that's the only thing that's going to knock it down.
Yeah, and Grant, I think, got the impression from what I said that there was some amount of hacking. No, it doesn't hack picture files embedded on the web. This is not hacking at all because Greg has built an entirely separate system from there's nothing to hack because he's not using any servers or somebody else's files. Everything has been built by Greg. So that's not the issue. And I also have not personally experienced any of those security issues.
I have not either.
Just I saw somebody in the Facebook group bring it up. And maybe the person in the Facebook group, I don't know, maybe they're using an old domain or something. I really don't know how they even got that error message to pop up for that, or not even error message. They got like a warning, but I've never gotten that.
The other thing too is that they may be in a different country because there's people all over the world that have this app. So in North America, in Canada, in the US, it has not been an issue as far as I've seen. And like I said, I'm using the app all the time. So make sure to get it. I think we should give everybody 10% off, but only for like a 72-hour window. So from like now until Friday.
So from now until Friday. So we'll go Friday at midnight,
Yeah, I guess it's technically like 48 hours. So, but yeah, so you get 48 hours to buy the app. If you buy the app, you'll get 10% off. If you have any questions about it, you can always hit me up. I use it all the time. If you're one of our patrons, then you can come on the Discord and chat with us.
Discord or the Patreon DMs, you can directly message us, and we respond really quickly to any patrons. And now that we have our score for Inject, speaking of Patreon, I'd love to announce the next thing that has been added as a bonus to the $25 tier, because like we say every week, we're constantly thinking of new ways to add more value to the Patreon and give you guys more value. And there's something that I've gotten a ton of questions about for the past months, which has been, everybody's been sending me DMs. Where is the One Arm Bandit? Everybody's been asking me, where is this product? Where can I find it? People that have gotten my more recent release, Double Agent. At the end, I talk about how if you're interested in one-handed techniques and sleights, you should check out my previous release, One Arm Bandit. But for a while, it was actually taken off the market. I removed it from Illusionist's site, and it wasn't available. People would go on Illusionist, and it's still there. You can still see it on the site, but you can't add it to your cart. And that's because I've been working really, really hard on beefing it up and making a new deluxe edition for a re-release that will be a course in all one-handed magic. But in the meantime, right now, the One Arm Bandit has just been released. I just did it right before the show. Any $25 tier patron, that you will immediately get the download link so that you can be one of the exclusive people to actually get the One Arm Bandit again. It's back on the market for our patrons. So
That's
where you can
nuts.
find it. So if you're already a Patreon tier at $25, then you've already gotten it for free. If you're not signed up for the Patreon yet, join our $25 tier. You get 20% off of every product that we sell. So right now, you could get the One Arm Bandit for free. You could get access to all of the weekly patter episodes that we recorded. Last week, I did a new segment we called the Run Olympics because I have COVID. So I had no sense of taste and smell. So we had me drink all of the most disgusting, like hot sauces and drinking apple cider vinegar and sour stuff, like super salty things, soy sauce, and I couldn't taste any of it. So, and I had to try and guess what it was that I was drinking. So if you want to see that, you've got to check out the Patreon exclusive weekly patter, which is for the $10 and up tier. But yes, the One Arm Bandit is something that was my first ever release to the Magic community. I've gotten so many DMs from people asking me where they can find it, where they can purchase it. And now, right at this point in time, it is currently only available for people that are $25 tier patrons. So you get that for free. You get 20% off any product on our website. You get the weekly patter. And
more and all access to all the private Instagram pages that we have for everything, all the private Discord channels that we have. You get everything basically, which is nuts. And just to say this, like if you were to just buy the One Arm Bandit, you're already there basically.
That already sells for $20. So it's like you pay $25 to get that product for free, and you get
20% off anything in the store. So already inject 20% off. You've already made more.
Good luck trying to find 20% off Inject anywhere else.
You can't. You absolutely can't. It has been sold for this much for forever, if not more. So, it's going to be absolutely nuts.
So that was the exciting announcement. So we should probably get off and get that up on the website so you guys can check it out as soon as possible. But
I would agree. All right, boys and girls, we are going to kick it off tonight and say goodnight. We are going to get back on our website. We're going to update some stuff, and we'll see you guys later this week if you're on the weekly patter. If not, we'll see you next week.
See you guys on the weekly patter, or see you next week for another episode of All Access Magic, the Christmas special. Peace.